It's a little desolate.
Travelling with my good friend Jeramey James, we are in the Hwange National Park in Zimbabwe, on our way from main camp to Sinamatella. It's day 23 of an expedition to find close encounters with African animals. It's a 3-hour drive, but we're going to spend the whole day getting there, watching for game as we go. My name is St Pierre White. Join me as I build 4-wheel trucks and travel to the remotest parts of the world. I'm a prisoner of this hill. An elephant, and that's an African buffalo. This is the Shumba picnic spot and hide, and we're going to have a bit of lunch here. Hwange has a lot of these areas that you can step out and, you know, there are a lot of these hides. They're wonderful. The water holes are powered by borehole pumps. They're electrically powered by photovoltaic cells, keeping these water holes alive.
Huh. That's not a rock in the middle, that's a hippo.
We have had a brilliant morning game viewing. Not that we've seen that many animals, we have seen some animals. And, we're at another one of these watering holes with another platform. There's nobody around. This is Masuma Dam. We are sitting at a hide. Let's have a look at you. There you go. Bastard. So that's a pretty special scene. Get so close. They're drinking from the trough because the water from the trough has been pumped straight out of the ground by the solar voltaic cell powered pump. So it's pure clean water. They don't have to drink it out of a pond. And that's why they come here. Masuma Dam is something really special. We must come back tomorrow, but for now we must make Sinamatella before the gates close, so unfortunately we can't experience the sunset here. We have arrived. This is one of my favourite campsites in all of southern Africa, and I thought, being in Zimbabwe, I would bring Jeramey to it. It's called Sinamatella, and it's in the northeastern section of the Hwange National Park. We've checked in, now we have to go and find ourselves a campsite, and I'm going to show you why it's so special. I first visited Hwange and Sinamatella when I was 7, and I've always remembered Sinamatella for its amazing backdrop.
Oh, that looks like good wood.
Yeah.
The engine has hardly been shut down when our free firewood arrives.
Ah.
Which side do I want to go? I think I want to go that side.
Just a shot through the fire.
And more planning for our night photography. Beautiful father. Very nice, thank you very much. Animal sightings today. We saw a lot of animals today, but one stands out on my list of animals that I wanted to see on this trip at the very, very top. We saw it today. A brief glimpse, passed in front of the car as we were driving along about an hour ago. And that's the painted dog. And this is Jeramey's picture through the windscreen. He had about 4.5 seconds, not even that, notice to actually get the camera up, point it and fire. It was close, but we saw them. There was a pack. We probably saw 4 animals, maybe 5, running across the road. Painted dog used to be called the African wild dog. They've changed its name to painted dog. It's an endangered species. They are amazing animals. Just really, to get a good look at a painted dog is really something special. We did see them. That's amazing. And the best part of today is the fact that no rush. We just had the whole day to drive 120-ish kilometers through the game reserve, stopping every 30 minutes. We would stop and at a water hole, look for animals. When we saw something, we would stop. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what a place to stop. Tonight we're going to try some astral photography with these beautiful trees. Such beautiful silhouettes against the sky. We've got a high moon which will either help us with our photography or not. We'll wait and see. I'm in my tent at Sinamatella. Just getting into bed, and I was thinking to myself, well, we haven't really had any close encounters with wild animals, maybe not as close as I was hoping. And then I realized we've had some amazing encounters. It's been fantastic. But Jeramey hasn't heard lion. And within 20 seconds of thinking that, the lion started. Yeah, they're a long way away, but they're there. You can hear them. It's unmistakable. And it's one of the magic parts about spending time and camping in the African bush, are the night sounds, particularly lion, and particularly hyena. The whooping of the hyena, this eerie call. Of course, the jackal also has a fantastic call. Many of you may ask, particularly, I get a lot of questions, particularly from people in the United States. Don't you carry a gun? Do you carry a gun? Do you carry a gun? No, I don't. Do not carry a gun. A couple of reasons. Firstly, it's not permitted. I couldn't cross the border with a gun unless I had a hunting permit and a hunting guide. Very strictly controlled. Very strictly controlled because of poachers. And if I carried a weapon illegally and I was found in this part of the world with an illegal firearm, I would be tried for poaching. I could spend a long time in jail. But this might sound prosaic, but instead of carrying a gun, I carry common sense. A weapon is completely unnecessary. It's just not necessary. Just keeping our wits about us and knowing a little bit about animal signs. If they get aggressive and everything, back off. Don't let them get aggressive, and don't get too close. These are wild animals. You get close to them, they won't like it. Don't camp close to water because of hippos. Don't walk too close to water because of crocodiles. We are not animal food. Any animal. Can you hear the lion now? A deep, deep, low frequency rumble. There's a lion. It's one of the best things you can do. Travelling in Africa. Just go to sleep in a ground tent, listening to lion. It's really cool. And when the lion get very close, it's my adrenaline sport, because you never get used to it. I'm still sleeping. Sounds like a noisy Burchell starling with another small bird taking dictation. Sounds like a typewriter. I'm officially a wreck this morning. I couldn't have a shower last night because there was no hot water, even though they'd lit in the donkey boiler. The plumbing is just a complete mess there. So anyway, didn't have a good night because there was a mouse or something scurrying around the outside of my tent making a lot of noise. But I woke up this morning to this incredible bird song. It just, unbelievable. Such a beautiful thing to wake up to. And it reminded me, I wasn't very academically good at school. In fact, I was pretty terrible actually. I was voted the kid that would amount to absolutely nothing by I think every teacher and most of the pupils. But I did do two projects. One was just an ad hoc, open-ended project, do what you like, 4 marks. I think it was grade 11. And I did a Birds of Botswana project where I drew a map and I had pictures of different birds, and I think there were 6 or 8 birds in the collection. I'm not quite sure, but it came with a collection of bird sounds on a cassette tape. Now, when I was very, very young, I used to record bird sounds when I went out with my dad on these trips, and the bird sounds, at least 3 of them I've heard this morning from my tent, and the 3, which considering how many there were, could be as many as 50% of the entire bird collection, were Aramark babbler, Burchell starling. They are amongst the most noisy of the birds here. I also had on my list African golden oriole. That was actually, well, the Burchell starling was mimicking the African golden oriole.
Where we find a Burchell starling imitating an African golden oriole. During my various bird recording trips into Botswana, I did record a few birds that I still have not identified. This one I believe to be some kind of shrike.
See that guy? He's a black-eyed bulbul. He was another bird in my bird collection. And, can you hear that? I think, not 100% sure, another one was the yellow-billed hornbill. That noise there? Yellow-billed hornbill. I thought that would be too much of a coincidence. It sounded like a golden oriole. Meanwhile, on the plains far below, something is stirring. You join us now live on the hills overlooking the Sinamatella Valley as we watch a group of buffalo being hunted by a lion. No, really, that's what's happening. It's been explained to us that there is actually a hunt in progress. They take a long, long time. When the lions are roaring, lions that are roaring aren't hunting. Lions that are absolutely silent might be. So the lions roar, and it creates a calmness. in the herd of buffalo. But then the lions always work in a team. There are probably other lions on the other side flanking the buffalo. And what the lions will try and do is scatter them. In a herd like this, lions will not attack. It's just too dangerous for them. But once they are scattered, then they can pick off the slowest. Now this could take a day, 2 days, but something is going down. So my take on the situation, for what it's worth, in that enclosed herd, the buffalo are fairly safe actually. But what often happens with a herd like this, a buffalo, is that you get the very, very old males that are kicked out of the herd, and they're stragglers, and they often get separated from the herd when the herd is moving. And those stragglers are often, well, they are the most vulnerable of the herd, and they're often taken by lion. And as somebody who travelled through the bush quite a lot, those stragglers, those buffalo are extremely dangerous to hikers, because in a herd, buffalo are like cattle, they all stick together. When separated, they are extremely grumpy and extremely dangerous and unpredictable. What's going to happen? Is there going to be a hunt this morning? Hey, I don't know. Hey, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Even if there isn't, it's pretty fantastic to watch from up here. Oh, what an amazing sight that is. What a treat. And coming back to Hwange, I thought, well, main camp, animals better at main camp. Wrong. Wrong on every imaginable count. The animals are better at Sinamatella. So it depends what time of year you come, it depends on individual experience, it's just you never know. You never know. Fantastic. Where you get a better view of it. They're running. Why would they be running? So they're out of sight now. I'm sorry I can't show you this. I'm just looking through the binoculars and I've just got trees in the foreground. I can see very, very little. They stampeded for some reason. But I don't see lion. I actually also see some bulls. Oh, they're there. They are. Yeah, they've gone back down to their normal slow pace. So whatever freaked them out is no longer a problem. They've slowed down, they've started grazing. They started grazing again. And this happens every day. But to be in the right place and the right time to witness it is the trick. Okay, exciting things happening. This was just fantastic, just brilliant. Now, Masuma Dam, we went there yesterday and photographed the elephants. There might be an opportunity for us to camp there. That means that we can actually be right next to that border hole right through the night, right early morning. And they were telling us how Edward, the chap that looks after the place right now, was telling us that the animals, they come through there. There are tourists that come through there too, but they leave before 6. We would be allowed to stay. So we're going to find out now if there is a space available. We might get lucky. And here he comes with the news. Let's hope it's good. What did they say?
All the killing sites are booked today.
All booked?
All booked.
Oh dear, that's a real pity.
That's not great news. Up to this moment, I didn't know it was possible to camp and overnight at any of these spots.
That's a pity.
Doing so means that you're close to the animals right through the night. Maybe we should go there and chat to the warden.
Bird life here is absolutely fantastic. We've never had on the entire trip so much bird life around us.
I'm not quite ready to give up yet. So, we've driven back to Masuma Dam.
Good, man.
Okay, thanks
We
a
have
lot.
it delivered for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, from the camp.
Okay. So where are you up to today?
Sit rep. We came back to Masuma Dam to see if Edward, the caretaker here, had any ideas, ways that we could actually stay here and camp here, even though they have a booking. And it seems he does. We were hoping, and we asked at the office,
Okay.
to spend tonight here,
Okay.
but they said you've already got a booking.
Okay.
But you mentioned yesterday that maybe we could share with somebody else.
Yeah.
What are the chances of, because we would love to be here tonight.
Okay. So what about if there's someone come down here and don't want to share? Do you have another option to go somewhere, Mandavu or
We can go
Sinamatella?
back to Sinamatella.
To Sinamatella.
Yeah.
That's cool. So let's just wait for those people.
See
When they
what
come
they
down,
say.
then I can talk with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's possible. It's depending with the people.
Yeah, yeah.
But especially South Africans, some of them, they don't want to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if there's some other people from different countries, maybe they can share with us. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
I can do something about it.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Let's try. So we've packed up everything, returned, cameras at the ready, and we will know within the next 2 hours if we're staying here and we can actually spend the night here, or will we have to rush back and camp again at Sinamatella.
Thing I can do for you,
Yes, sir.
if you want to drive back, you can just drive back maybe later to go and grab your tent,
Yes.
but don't do the payment
Okay.
now
Yes.
because you don't know about the picnic
I
site.
understand.
Because maybe you can pay for the picnic site, but there's someone's coming down.
I understand.
You are going to get a loss. So the
Okay.
thing is, you can pay tomorrow morning.
Go out, pay.
Yeah.
Stay with us, folks, for the next instalment. This is the Animals in Africa show brought to you by Filthmuck, the detergent with the lead bubbles. Dum-da-dum-da-da-rum.
And there's a town actually called Boron that mines this stuff. Well, it was put into a cleanser, laundry cleanser, hand cleanser called borax in the U.S. And on the old boxes, it used to say 20 meal team borax. Keeping your
As you can see, while waiting for animals, it's not all interesting.
20 meal team, that was the power of borax.
We didn't have long to wait before the first of the elephants arrived. And a family of female kudu. Some of who seem to have an unhealthy interest in a crocodile. More and more animals arrive. And as they arrive, the more I worry about the idea of not spending the night here. In the next episode, do we get to spend the night here? Well, obviously we do, otherwise we wouldn't have managed to get this amazing shot. Join us next time and click that Patreon button if you dare.